Today we're going to continue on my SR rebuild, and what we're going to be doing today is stripping it down, which is what I believe to be the most interesting thing about the rebuild, because we're going to see not only what went wrong, but we could also see any other potential issues that this engine might have had, and we could sort it out. But yeah, what we're going to do today is just strip this thing down, so take all the accessories off, and then we're going to take a look at the head and make sure that there's no issues within the head that we might have missed. And after that, if there wasn't anything we could find, we're just going to pull the head off and look at the pistons, which is where I suspect the issue is. And also I do want to strip this thing down because my engine builder did tell me I could bring it as a long block, meaning the head and the bottom end could still be combined together and all the accessories are off. But I do want to strip it down further because I'm personally curious as to what happened and I gotta know. But yeah, the goal for today is just stripping this thing down, not only to see what the issue is, but also because I have been waiting to do this for a really long time and I really want to see what happened. What I'm going to be starting with is draining the oil out of this thing, because I was waiting until it was on an engine stand to do this because I did want to see if there was any metal or anything coming out with the oil when it was draining. And the main reason I wanted to do it on an engine stand is because I want to do an oil analysis. I forgot to order the kit, but I am going to save a little bit of oil and send that out so I could get results from that. But yeah, I'm going to start by draining the oil, and then I'll move on to pulling the harness out and everything else. But for now, let's see if, oh my God, this magnetic drain plug caught anything. Oh yeah, there's a lot of metal. Look at all that metal on this drain plug. All right, I'm gonna just let this drain out and then we'll continue on afterwards. But just by looking into the oil here, I could see some metal. So that's not good. Oh well. Good thing it's getting rebuilt. As you guys seen, there was a lot of metal in the oil and it's not the best thing, but good thing it's getting addressed. But yeah, now I'm gonna take this upper manifold off, and the reason for that is because we're stripping the motor, but also to get to all these plugs for the harness, you need to have the manifold out of the way to get to these plugs. So I'm just going to take the upper manifold off, and then I could get to these plugs, and then I could just pull this whole harness off and get it out of the way. Oh, I need to take the throttle body off. Now I'm just going to continue with unplugging all this stuff, starting by unplugging the injectors and then taking this annoying Nissan freaking clip off that always goes flying. Harness is out. This thing's taller than me. Now I got gas and coolant all over my floor. I'm tired of getting covered in gas, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the fuel rail off so I could get this all off the motor so it stops spilling on me. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this lower manifold off and continue stripping this side of the block before we move on to pulling everything from the front of the motor off. So yeah, what I'm going to start on is the fuel rail. You're in the danger zone. Here. Okay, let's gas on. So the last things I have to do on this side of the motor is just take the brackets and these hoses off. You guys might be wondering, why do these hoses not look super crusty for how old this motor is? And it's because a few years ago, when I threw the motor in the car, I replaced all these with OEM hoses, and I'm glad I did because a lot of these are now discontinued, so good thing I did back then. Now I'm just gonna take these hose clamps off, pop this entire thing off with the bracket, take the rest of the brackets off, and then we'll move on to the front of the motor. We got everything stripped down from this side of the block. You can see there's no more coolant hoses, no more manifold, and then no water pump, thermostat housing. And then when you move to the front of the motor, you can see we pulled all the accessories off, minus the pulley, which we still need to pull off. And then we went ahead and also removed the AC brackets and the power steering brackets. So now what we're gonna move on to is the turbo stuff. And the main reason I'm doing this is because Aimless has a drift event in a couple weeks, and John wants to upgrade his turbo, and I made a promise to him that I was actually gonna donate him my old turbo since I bought a new S15 turbo for this. And yeah, so that's my motivation for getting this done. And then the reason I'm giving him this turbo is because this is actually his old motor, and he gave me like a really good deal for it back then, so I just kind of want to like push it forward and give him the turbo. Or maybe it snapped a little. Intercooler motor, drivetrain's all set. I just finished taking apart everything on the turbo side of things. You guys saw me pull off the turbo manifold, and then afterwards I separated the turbo manifold from the turbo along with the lines and everything, so now I could go ahead and hand this over to John. But yeah, now that we got all the accessories off, the intake manifold off and all the coolant hoses, the exhaust manifold off and the turbo, we could get to the good stuff, which is finally opening up the long block and seeing what went wrong. So yeah, now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take the coil packs off, the valve cover off, and just do a quick visual before moving on to pulling the head, where I don't think there's gonna be anything wrong with the head, hopefully, but there's always a chance. So we got the head all opened up, and honestly, this is way better than I was expecting. Like, this SR has been touched. I know that for a fact because it has a head gasket on it, and I was expecting everything to be like kind of janky, but all the cam caps are proper. And then all the cams have no scoring on them, which is a surprise to me because from what I noticed online and from everyone else, I have yet to see another SR that didn't have some sort of like scoring. All the rockers look fine. The springs and retainers all look fine. Everything just looks good in here. It is a little sludgy, but this is way better than I was expecting. I was expecting that this thing was like thrown together and then that was it, but super clean. Kind of sucks that the block let go. I just put the motor at TDC, which is basically where piston number 1 is at, all the way at the top, and you can verify that by looking at the crank pulley here and seeing that it is on 0 degrees. This one's not labeled, but I know that this mark here is 0 degrees. And I put an extension into piston number 1 and it's at its highest point. Also, the camshafts are facing away from each other. So now what I'm going to be doing is taking off the tension off the cams by loosening the timing chain tensioner, which is on this side of the motor. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and remove the cams. But before removing the cams, you have to kind of keep in mind that these are extremely fragile, so you don't want to like just zap these bolts off. You actually want to remove it in the opposite sequence of installing it. So I just looked up the sequence for tightening these, and I'm just gonna do the opposite. Chain tensioner. See how crusty it is? That's never. We got the cams off, and remember how I said that these look perfect, there was no scoring and all that type of stuff? That was a lie. There's some scoring on the front of this cam right here. My nail could barely catch it, but I'm still gonna run it. And then on this one too, there's some scoring that my nail could catch. But again, I'm just gonna keep running these because I don't plan on going on a standalone yet. And I don't see a point of putting cams unless I'm stepping it up to a point that I would need a standalone. So yeah, now what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take the CAS off, the cam position sensor, and then I'm gonna go ahead and drop the timing chain in and take all the bolts for the head off and lift the head off. There it goes. We got the head off and it's put in a safe place, quote unquote. But let's see how bad the pistons and stuff is. I haven't taken a look yet because I was waiting. And also I was told this car had an aftermarket head gasket. This is very much an OEM head gasket. So it didn't, I might have made an unopened SR the entire time, which kind of makes sense for why it wasn't so cleft. But yeah, everything looks good. There's not like any detonation mark. Oh, you know, there's some detonation marks on this piston right here. And I can see a lot in cylinder 2 and a lot in cylinder 3, which is the one that let go. So let's see how the cylinder wall. Ooh. So I got a light, and you guys can see here on cylinder 3, which is the one we had issues, there's a bunch of scoring right here, like a deep, I could feel this with my nails, so that's not a good sign. I wonder how much the cylinder is gonna have to be overboard when I get new pistons. And then, oh, come on my side. You could see here, there's a bunch of scratches right here in like a rectangle shape, which isn't good. That means the ring probably let go right here, and it's ovalizing the cylinder a little bit. And then, yeah, just scoring all the way through it. Some deep ones, some not. And then on cylinder 2, same thing. Deep scoring, all right here. But it doesn't have that area like on cylinder 3 right here where it's like digging into the wall. Unless on the other side it is. No, the rest of it's fine. So I'm just gonna spin this over real quick and we'll see cylinders 1 and 4. See? This isn't as nice as I thought it was gonna be. It definitely needs pistons and it needs to be overboard. Cylinder 1 looks pretty good. A few scratches, but nothing deep. I could still see some cross hatching too, which is kind of weird to see. I wonder if this thing was like actually rebuilt or not, because there is some cross hatching still on the cylinder. How was cylinder 4? Same thing, there's some scratches. It started digging in right here a little bit, but nothing to worry about. Is this a deep? Oh yeah, I could catch the scratch here on my nail though. So I wonder if I'm gonna have to oversize this to 86.5 millimeter or 87 millimeter. But yeah, once I send this off to the guy who's doing the machine work and assembly, then he'll do the machine work till the point the cylinders are true again, and then we'll figure out what size pistons to order. But yeah, I don't think you guys need to see me take apart the bottom end here because we already got the results we needed to see. And I honestly thought I would have to take it apart further to get this to like reassurance, but it's garbage. See you when we continue.